Finally, I would like to offer the floor to our final panelist of the day, Ms. Jacqueline Isaac. Jacqueline is the Vice President of Roads of Success, which is a humanitarian NGO. She is based in Los Angeles, but travels the world doing advocacy, and just recently came back from the UK, in which she was able to participate in a very meaningful way in helping to move the resolution or the recognition of genocide in the Lord of Commons. So I give you the floor, Jacqueline. Thank you.
I would first like to thank the Holy See for sponsoring such an event. Thank you to Citizens Go, and thank you to In Defense of Christians, because this is a matter of life or of death. I want to tell Mr. and Mrs. Mueller, thank you for speaking about the courage of their brave daughter today. Before I went to Iraq, I had heard the news that Kayla had been murdered. Fox News came to meet with me, and they asked, "You're an American like her. Aren't you afraid that this can happen to you if you go?" But I thought of Kayla, and I thought of her bravery, and I thought of what she stands for. And I was able to answer, no, I am not afraid, because girls like Kayla are a symbol of what each and every one of us should be doing. I stand here today, not as a lawyer, but as a fellow human being. I stand with Samia. I stand with the beautiful, brave, and resilient survivors that I've spent extensive time with in Iraq. Those that saw their parents killed before them and then taken by ISIS and categorized like merchandise based on whether they thought they were beautiful or not, their age, and whether they were virgins, like merchandise. And if that was not enough, they were raped, they were tortured, many committed suicide and died, and others may have attempted, but they survived. And they're standing before us today. They're crying out and they're asking, "Where are you, world? Where are you, world?" We went to the front lines where we were 200 meters away from ISIS. We traveled to the Sinjar mountain to spend time with survivors. My mother, who is the president of the organization, just returned from the war-torn part of Syria in Homs. She returned 1 week ago and testified before the UK Parliament. She learned of something very harrowing. Parents, like many of you today, had children, but these children were in captivity, and they got a knock on their door. They opened that door and they found plastic black bags. The bags had the body parts of their daughters. The body parts of their daughters. And a video. A video of their daughters being raped and tortured. Their parents, they're just like us. Their parents, their mothers, their fathers, these are not numbers. They are not numbers. They are just like us. But they're living in an unfortunate part of the world. I promised that I would not leave without sharing their voices before the entire world, not just to hear the stories, but to act. This is a call for action. We need to stand with our fellow brothers and our fellow sisters. A story of a beautiful mother named Rita, Christian woman from Mosul, also got a knock on her door. The ISIS foreign fighters were at the door, and they told her, "You have two choices. You are to leave now or you are to pay the jizya." She said, I will pay. Give me a few seconds. My daughter's in the shower. They said, you don't have a few seconds. And they lit the house with a torch from the bathroom that the daughter was showering in. Their daughter had 4-degree burns. And Rita took her daughter, trying, scrambling, doing anything to save her, rushed her to the hospital. And her daughter died in her arms. But you want to know the last thing that Rita's daughter said? Forgive them. Forgive them. See, in the midst of darkness, there is light. And it is that light that has us sitting here today. Because when there's light, there is hope. Last week, we were before the UK Parliament, and we testified as to the accounts of what we've seen. We also brought a 16-year-old survivor, just like Samia, who had seen her father shot and murdered in front of her own eyes, saw a 9-year-old girl get raped so many times that her body could not take it and she died before her. She saw a mother eating her baby. ISIS killed her baby, grinded the baby and fed the baby to the mother. This is what we're talking about here. And I will tell you something. Though the legal arguments were very important in that parliamentarian decision in the House of Commons, it was the stories of our fellow daughters, mothers, brothers, fathers. It is those stories that moved the House of Commons. In a unanimous vote, they stood and said, this is a genocide. Now, the question is, what does it mean? When we declare that a genocide has happened, what does it mean? I want to share with you what it meant to the 16-year-old witness that came with us and testified. A few minutes after the hearing, we called her. She said, oh God, thank you, God, you heard our cries. This is justice for our people, our honor and dignity returned. That's what that declaration meant to Ikhlas. We then called a mother in Syria who lost her child. And the mother said, our voices have finally been heard. My son's innocent blood shed has not been ignored. Please tell the world to continue our fight until we are safe. Decisions have been made. And the first step, the first victory, is that healing process, that the survivors know that we stand with them. And now it is time for each and every one of you to take your stand. I carried their voices to you. Now carry their voices to the world. Speak to your members in Parliament. Speak at the United Nations. And let's get this referred to the Security Council. And let us see the perpetrators prosecuted in front of the International Criminal Court. We can do it. We can do it. Remember, it's not about them. It is about all of us. I congratulate you for being here and taking the first step. And I look forward to the day where we sit together and see the end of this fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you for being the voice of these victims and for bringing their voices to us here today, for bringing their voices to the international community, and for your call to action. It was a very moving way, I think, to end the testimonies of the morning, so thank you.